Hello and welcome to Multi-Movie Monday. I'm your host, Roy the Universe, and when I'm not going around trying to steal other people's faces, or when I'm trying to give them a lovely Valentine's Day gift by giving them a human heart that's actually still kind of alive, with a giant hole through it, I'm here in my own universe reviewing movies, and today is Remake Rehack Day, and, well, I will make this a note really away and really quickly. I haven't seen the originals of these films. I know, shame on me. But I have seen the remakes of them and can say that they're eh, if that makes sense. Like one I actually do kind of like, but I'm gonna have to explain really hard to try and get to why I think it's okay. And the other one is just pure bad because mostly it's a gore fest. While I don't mind gore fest in horror movies, there is no reason for it just to be a gore fest. But we're gonna start things off with Michael Bay's. I heard 1,000 people clicked right off this video and went away somewhere else. But if you want to see a review of the original, I highly recommend checking out Dr. Wolfie's review of the original. But we're going to be checking out the Michael Bay Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. And while I do enjoy this film, I can't necessarily say that it's a decent film either, but it does have some good ideas, and there are a lot of things that I do like about it, despite me still thinking that it's okay. Not great, but okay. But I'll talk more about that. Let's go down to Texas and have ourselves a yay old time. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. On the opening credits, the film opens up the same way like the original one from 1979 did, with a flashback featuring some old-fashioned footage, and also a narrator who's pretty damn good at narrating this.
To see that day. For them, an idyllic summer afternoon became a nightmare. For 30 years, the files collected dust.
So the film plays upon itself that it's actually based upon a real story, which it is not. It's based on a real-life serial killer, but it is not based on a real-life event, personally. After the opening credits, we open up in Texas in the 1970s, trying to bring it closer into the original film from 1979, as we meet the victims of this movie. And there's a lot of victims driving around in a Scooby-Doo type of vehicle, but the only one that you should really care about in this is Erin, played by Jessica Biel. So what are they doing in the middle of Texas? Why, they're driving back with a bunch of weed and a piñata. What would you be doing in the middle of Texas, enjoying the view of going out and enjoying a Cowboys game? And this is kind of the first problem with the film. The characters, they're not good. Except for Jessica Biel and maybe the guy that kind of looks like Weird Al Yankovic, the rest of them are just stupid. Meanwhile, children inside of Texas almost died because of stupidity and whatnot. Because why? Well, there's a woman walking on the side of the road. What else would they be doing? So Erin and her gal pal, now I shouldn't care what her name is and neither should you, decide that they're gonna pick her up and put her in the back of the van and see if they can help her feel better, despite the fact that she doesn't look so good. Nobody sits next to the nice girl that they just picked up on the side of the road, but she doesn't look good, proclaiming that her friends were all dead and that they're going the wrong way. And because of a scene I can't show you where she hid the gun in her vagina, she shoots herself square in the head and kills herself. To avoid going back, and as you'd expect, everybody screams. After this, the movie kind of goes a little bit sideways and becomes a little bit of Children of the Corn. There's a dead person in the body, and what are they going to do with it? It's not long before they stop at the Hewitt facility, run by Ma Hewitt, who runs the barbecue, and they ask her to phone in a police officer. But of course, Grandma Hewitt is in on the whole thing. Later, when they get to the estate, when they're told the police officer would meet them there, they meet one of the best characters in this film, Jebediah. A family member of the Hewitt family, and I think the cousin of Leatherface. While Jebediah is in on the whole Hewitt plan and he knows that these people are gonna die, he can't help but kind of convince them in doing the right thing, and trusting him, though he is leading them ominously to their death. But it's not long before the sheriff shows up, and the sheriff is also a Hewitt played by the one and only and legendary R. Lee Ermey, who gets these kids' asses straight into shape. One one thing I will give the credit for the movie for is that it does have a foreboding scenery, especially later on when it showed the scene of Leatherface down in his basement, and you can see what all sorts of goodies that he has collected down there. And also, I don't need to tell you what exactly that he does down in his basement. Leatherface is making a Halloween mask for the next Halloween season. What would you be doing in the Boothby basement? However, the dead body's gone, and much to their surprise, they don't find Aaron's boyfriend named Kemper, and they all go after him in Scooby-Doo style. They think that Kemper is inside the Hewitt household, so they go inside to see if they can find out what happened to the idiot only known as Kemper, but they find something worse. It takes a while, but yes, Leatherface is actually in this film. And to what purpose did he serve? I don't know. But he's going after the teenagers and he's gonna make skish kebabs out of them. And see, once Leatherface comes into the picture, you honestly forget that he's in the film because, well, there's other plot points that we have to get across, such as the whole entire Hewitt family. Let me just say this, it's not bad to have the other interesting characters in the film, but aside from Arlie Ermey, who is always a classic, the rest of them just feel more like padding. It's not long before Leatherface reappears. Almost an hour into the film, Leatherface makes his second reappearance, and he is pissed. Aaron tried to run for help on the property, but since the Hewitt family, according to the film, owns such a big landscape and such a big part of the property, she's going nowhere fast. I'll give the actors this, there is a very much the hills have eyes kind of experience going with them. There's this family that's out also in the desert that can kill you, and they're just as scary as the real monster of the movie, Leatherface. It's not long before we actually get our famous dinner scene with them, only the mother, Arlie Ermey, and who I think is known as Hoppy in the film, but we also get a story about Leatherface, and boy is it bad. According to the film, Leatherface was born with a face deformity, so technically speaking, he had no face. It's only with a white, pure, blank face expression. That's why he wears other people's faces in the film, and that feels kind of stupid. After a pointless exposition scene of how Leatherface came to be Leatherface, Aaron escaped down into his basement, and well, Leatherface isn't so happy that his plaything had gone missing. So Aaron tried to escape and ended up, well, becoming the survivor of the movie. Texas Chainsaw 2003 isn't a bad film, but I would not necessarily say that it deserves to be seen by any and all horror fans. Sure, it's kinda unique, but that's not saying much. Probably the best part is how the film ends. Aaron manages to escape and really manages also to save the baby that was also being kidnapped. But what about Leatherface? Did Leatherface die? No. Texas Chainsaw 2003 is not good. It's not bad, but it's just not very good. But the cinematography and even some of the actors do a great job in this film. It's just sad when you hear a lot of other people say that this remake could have been better, but it's not what the original movie is set out to be. Check it out if you're interested, but I don't think a lot of horror fans are going to recommend you to this one. Well, that's one slasher film down, and one that basically had technically started the slasher era alongside John Carpenter's Halloween. The next film that technically defined the slasher era, and that was in 1988, was a film called My Bloody Valentine. It was revolutionary, it was never seen before, and for some people it was very controversial. So, is the remake to My Bloody Valentine 3D any better? Well, I'll give you one thing. It starred Jensen Ackles from Supernatural fame. Yeah, you know, Dean Winchester. It's not gonna be any good, is it? Well, let's head on down to Valentineville and see just what this did different that the original. Didn't recommend a sequel or a remake. This is My Bloody Valentine 3D. Fear not, no faithful viewers. I have the 2D version. So the movie opens up with the original talking about Harry Warden dying according to the very first film of the series. As we similarly open up to a lot of other places do, a hospital with Harry Warden comatose, but suddenly he wakes up. Huh. Either he woke up or he heard that really loud fart from the nurse outside of his room. Either way, she is screwed because she comes into the room and doesn't notice that he's not in bed. It's not long before our friendly neighborhood police officers are called into the scene with the sheriff played by Tom Atkins himself, who you might remember from Halloween 3. He walks into the hospital and sees, some leftover Halloween decorations, I suppose. But hey, it's a hospital, what do you expect? Later, when he enters a woman's room, he ends up finding that her heart is exploded out of her chest, and not there. And Tom Atkins realizes who's behind this, Harry Warden. Oh, look, he even left him a gift. Heart bloody chocolates. Nothing says romance like one of those. Never mind that though, we have character development. And not really. We have four horny teenagers, and we only care about one in this movie, and that is particularly not here. So then we get to meet the full group of the team, and I just might as well call them dead meat, except for Jensen Ackles, who actually went on to perform a very good career, and in this movie he's okay. They decide to throw a party inside of the place where the murders kept place. Then as you'd expect, Harry Warden comes after her to kill everyone. I don't think that Harry really wants to kill anybody. I think that he just really wants to play an intense game of hide and go seek. If he finds you, he kills you dead. After mostly everybody is killed, Jensen Ackles runs in to try to be a hero. That's a good support like him. But Harry is killed right in front of Jensen. After that little bit of exposition, we cut to 10 years later, where everything has seemed to be okay. And look, they even have a replica of the Golden Gate Bridge. Ooh, isn't that fancy? Everybody just wants to enjoy their Valentine's Day, while not having Harry Warden to worry about, as everybody seems that they can't forget about the mass murderer that just went around and killed people only 10 years ago. Another famous actor comes in, Kevin Teague, that played the mayor. And if you don't know where Kevin Teague is from, he's from the old TV show, Emergency, as well as Darwin from X-Men First Class. But Harry Warden's supposed to be dead, right? So who's going around and killing people in Harry Warden's signature fashion? Why, it is nothing only but a copycat. But this film is a lot like Scream, for example. There is a killer on the loose, and everybody trying to figure out who's the copycat Harry Warden because he's not alive anymore. While talking with Kevin T, Jensen Ackles decides to turn his back that he's not going to go down the mill where the murders happen. I mean, after all, Camp Crystal Lake still had Jason, but they're open every single year. As Kevin is, of course, confused about this. Never mind that, though, because at the place where Ellie Kane is working, guess what? Somebody needs to go shopping. And that person is Harry Warden himself. Oh no, Harry wasn't trying to kill them. He's just upset that they discontinued his favorite snack at the store. And who knows? Maybe someday they'll come back out with Halloween Twinkies again, Harry. Maybe someday. After the event, Ellie King survives with her husband. But sadly, the same cannot be said for her cohort in this. As it turned out, she's dead and her heart has been ripped out. Ellie, come on, she went all this way to make that prank and Valentine's gift just for you. And without spoiling it truthfully, you should find out already who the Harry Warden copycat killer is in this movie. And aside from that, most of it just feels like padding, and the rest of it just feels like a Gorehound gore fest. So how is My Bloody Valentine 3D? Well, it's not that great, but I have seen worse horror films, so it's okay. To me, this film wanted to be more than the original film, or maybe homage it, or try to own up to it in some way, but there's a problem with trying to do it right, and this film just didn't. However, if you are interested, I would say check the film out, especially for its unique gore effect, and hell, there is a lot of unique and fancy looking ones in this film, especially some that really surprised me. But gore just doesn't make the film because it could have been a lot more, and really it just wasn't. So check out my Bloody Valentine 3D if you're interested, but just note that it's going to be a bloody time and a bloody, awfully long expedition time too. So, what's my final thoughts upon these two films? Well, well, they're both not bad, but they're both not impressively good either, truthfully. Texas Chainsaw 2003 is a unique concept in the film. It tries to do simple to the original, while also trying to do some unique twists and ideas, and certainly it does have some unique twists and ideas. The only problem is that not every unique twist and idea is going to end up great for this film, sadly. Then there is this. There is My Bloody Valentine 3D, which is mostly on the gore side a lot more than it is on the storytelling side. With this film, there is a lot more storytelling indeed, yes, where a lot of people probably want the gore that's inside of My Bloody Valentine 3D. Yeah, however, it does still have a more impact story, and I did feel a lot for the characters, despite me calling them dead meat just as a joke in this video. But the characters in My Bloody Valentine 3D are characters I didn't even care about except for Jensen Ackles' character. And maybe that's just because I'm a fan of Supernatural, but the other ones I just didn't really care for. They were just slut that gets killed just for having sex. Is that supposed to be a horror movie joke and reference that I'm just not getting? Because it's a reference even in Scream. And yes, you will notice some very similarity to Scream, but there's not two killers. There's only one killer in My Bloody Valentine 3D. So, what about Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I would probably recommend this one over My Bloody Valentine 3D, and only in the sense that it's more unique, and I do really love the cinematography in Texas Chainsaw 2003. While it's not as gross and grotesque as the original, most definitely, I still would highly recommend checking this one out if you're interested. And if you want to check out good reviews by two good horror reviewers, I recommend for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, to check out Dr. Wolfula. I will link his video down in the description down below, so you guys can go and watch that. I will also shout out to him on Twitter too. And I also, for the original My Bloody Valentine, I'd recommend Brendan Tenold's review. Again, I will link his video down there, and I will also give him a shout out on Twitter as well. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more. For next week, it is Craven for Candy Day. Because it's not just Halloween, we're going to talk about two of my favorite horror franchises. One of my favorite horror franchises with two of my favorite movies that come out of it. And because YouTube decided you are not allowed to have that video, hopefully this one will go through and you will see Craven for Candy Day on Halloween. If not, I have to make amends again. Hopefully nothing bad will happen. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. Be sure to subscribe for more. Click that bell icon if you want to be notified. And thank you for joining me. And I hope to see you next time on the next Multi-Movie Monday. Because remember, 20 more Mondays, 20 more movies. And I'll see you next time.